He said, Joe, we have 5,000 members in the gym. He said, less than 10% of them show up on a regular basis, which is once a month. He said, if they all came, I'd be out of business because I can't fit them. He said, we get about 500 people who show up once a month at most. So they spend the money every month. Why are they going? So now this became fascinating to me because I'm saying, here I am, and I'm doing everything, and I'm not the guy who's sitting on the couch. I'm working hard, and I'm going to seminars, and I'm setting goals, and I'm doing affirmations, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm getting excited, and I'm going bankrupt. See how good you can all take pleasure in my pain now, but it's all I needed material. My one teacher said, Joe, you know why your life has been so hard? Because you need a lot of material to do what you do. I said, all right, I'm done now. I don't want to have any more. I have enough material. I got many years of material. So I realized that my brain is important, but all it does, it's for awareness. It's just to make you aware. So it says, oh, okay, I want to do this. I want to change this. I want to make a change. I want to lose weight. Or it brings something to your awareness that you know is blocking your progress, which we're going to do today too. Okay, so we're going to get into some of that work and some of that clear. So your brain is one thing. Now the other part of it is, which intersects with this, is your energy. And your energy is tied to your subconscious, not your conscious. So your conscious brain is the thinking. Your unconscious brain is your feelings, your beliefs. And that's tied into everything in your energetic system. All your feelings, all your beliefs, all that stuff. So that's why you say, I want to lose weight, but I see myself as a fat person. I don't see myself as a skinny person. See, I don't see myself as a successful person. I see myself as a failure. I don't see myself as a successful person. Now, you may look at somebody from the outside and say, well, I don't get that. You seem like a person. People say to me, wow, you look like you're a successful person. I said, but somewhere along the line, I had a feeling of unworthiness that I had to get past. So without getting past that, it doesn't matter how hard you work. And my teacher said something to me I'll never forget, and I think of it every single day, and it ruined my life. It actually saved my life and ruined my life. And she said, Joe, what you're doing is not that important. And to me, my whole life revolved around what I was doing. Anybody? You ever go around telling everybody what you're doing? Let me tell you what I did. I did this. You ever see those people? Yeah, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So our life revolves around, let me tell you what I'm doing. What we need to do is understand what we're feeling. Because what you're feeling is creating the energy that's going out into the world and bouncing back to you. So the hardest thing to do, especially for men, because we didn't grow up in, because if you were a guy, a boy growing up and you cried, what'd they say? Don't cry.
Soft.
Right? Come on, don't be a baby. But really, if you look at little babies, they're very tuned into what they feel. Right? A baby, they're happy, they're laughing. They're upset, they're crying. They're hungry, they need diaper change, they're calling you. So as we get older, what happens is, and this is important for you to understand your childhood, is your validation of your feelings is what made you intuitive or not. So for example, if you felt upset and you went to one of your parents and said, listen, I'm upset about this, what did they say? Did they say, well, let's talk about it, what's the matter, what's going on, how are you handling that? Or did they say, don't make a big deal. It's not a problem. Don't make a big deal out of it. So you have to understand that. So how they handled your emotion as a child set the tone for how you process your feelings as an adult. And the thing that none of us learned as children, which is the critical thing that we need to teach now, which is my next mission, is teaching children how to process their feelings, but also validating all feelings. There's no such thing as a good or a bad feeling. There's just a feeling. So you ever see people, you're upset, what do they say? Don't be upset. But I am upset. But don't be upset. You shouldn't be upset about that. Now, what do you you're invalidating my feelings. So all your feelings are good because what they're doing is they're helping you understand yourself. So, for example, something may happen that upsets me that doesn't upset Clark. Wow, this guy didn't call me back, and I would say, this guy told me he was going to do this, and I didn't do it, and he didn't call me back. Do you believe that? He may say, well, what's the big deal? Why is that upsetting me? There's something in me. So here's rule number 1. This is the most powerful rule. Hardest rule for people to accept in life. Okay, if you can accept this truth, you can change your life dramatically. It takes a lot. Every single thing that's happening in your life, you create. I mean, every single thing that happens in your life, you create. It's part of your journey. Now, here's the deal. The minute you don't think you created it, what happened to your power? God. So now let me ask you a question. If you could create a big mess, does that mean you're powerful? Yeah. Hell yeah. So if you can create a big mess, what does that mean you can also create? A big success. I can create a mess. I can create a success. Now I create the mess to learn something. So all the challenges that I have had, all the challenges that you have had, you learned something, right? You hope. Some people do. Some people did get stuck in that place. But when you have a struggle or a difficulty, that's your opportunity to learn. So here's what we learn. Something's not working out. What do you do? What do you believe? Well, I can't get a job. What do you believe? What do you believe? The economy's bad. How many of you think the economy's bad right now? All right? Everybody thinks the economy's bad? You see people, I see the economy's bad. What's that? No, but again, see, because here's what happens. Here's, again, back to your brain. Your brain wants an answer that makes sense. So if you can't get a job, your brain has to say, well, it's a bad market. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too tall. I'm too short. Right? Your brain is searching always for some validation and some answer that makes sense. So here's the hardest thing to do. You can't do it, but here's the hardest thing to do. You have to stop thinking. Now, here's what I mean by that. Obviously, you can't stop thinking because humans, we need to think. It's part of our thing. But what you have to do is you have to be aware when you're overthinking. Anybody here an overthinker? Okay. So what happens when you overthink? Who can tell me what happens? Yeah. Go ahead. Your name? Ranisha. What happens when you overthink, Ranisha?
I think about one thing, somehow it just extends to all these different things, and then after I'm focusing on all these different things, all the problems and other stuff, they begin to reveal themselves, and I start thinking about every problem.
Okay, so that's a very good example. So what happens is you start to project what? Right? You start projecting negative. And that's what most people do when they start to think. Because you start to say, well, I got a problem. And then what happens? Now I got a million problems. I went from 1 to 1 million. Because you started, you don't see people projecting positive. They don't say, well, that's happening, but let me look over here over the good stuff. So your brain jumps in. Now what happens is when you go through the overthinking process like that, now you've moved your vibration all the way down. You're attracting based on vibration. So what happens? Okay. So let's back up. That's a great point. Why don't you trust them?
Well, it's like we're just overthinking.
No, but why don't you trust them in the first place? Maybe or they did. Okay, see? Every word carries vibration. Be strong. Did they do something to make you not trust them? Okay, so that's valid. So now you don't trust. So the question becomes, why? And this is a question for you all to put in your brain. And then move it over here. Why would I attract someone you attract that I don't trust? Why? No. Possible a little bit. But here's what happens. I am attracting based on what I learned. Okay, so if I grew up and I didn't trust my mother or my father, what am I going to attract? People I don't trust, because that's the energy I have. So what's happening is you're vibrating energy. Okay, so I'll tell you my biggest issue that I've had in this life has been the feeling of abandonment. Okay, my mother, when I was born, had postpartum. I've gone all the way back and done womb meditations. I wouldn't even get into that today because you really think I'm weird, but which I am. But my mother had postpartum, didn't take care of me at all. My dad was never home and died when I was 12. My feeling has always been abandonment. So what do? I attract people into my life. They promise me something and they don't deliver. They make me feel abandoned. But I'm bringing those, so the universe says this, I'm going to keep bringing those people in until you can get that clear. So until you deal with your trust issue, which is going to go back to your parents, right? Then I'm going to keep bringing in people who remind me of them. See, my father would say, hey, we grew up in New York. He would say, Sunday we're going to the Giant game. I was waiting a whole week. I think if you're a little kid, you're 8 years old, your dad tells you, and my father was never home. He was a cop. He was never home. And he would say to me early in the week, this Sunday we're going to get together. We're going to the Giant game. The whole week I'm excited. Sunday came, he was gone. How do I? Number one, I'm abandoned. But number two, I'm not worthy of your time. Right? So that's the energy now I am holding. And then I start vibrating that energy out and attracting people to make me feel the same way. You got it? Yeah. So here's what you've got to do every day. Understand that your whole life is about you, what you feel. The outside world is only serves one purpose for you. That is your report card. You know how you get a report card in school? Mm-hmm. So the outside world is reflecting your inside world. That's it. That is all that's happening out there. So here's what happens. Now, somebody doesn't do what they said they were going to do. They promised you something or they said they were going to do something. What is your reaction? Anger. You're mad. At who? Why? Why should I be mad at them? Who created that? You did. Who should you be mad at? Yourself. Now you see how that changed your whole life. Because now, here's the key. In higher power, you can never be a victim. In lower energy, you're always a victim. You're a victim to the economy. You're a victim to the politicians. You're a victim to the weather. You're a victim to everything. But in higher power, all I'm saying all day to myself is this. Why am I creating this? Why am I creating this? Why am I creating this? You've got to take that word, creation, and staple it to your head. Because you want to understand why you're creating what you're creating every day. Now, when you're able to do that and get out of your ego, because your ego wants to be upset. You know that. How many of you like to be dramatic? Nobody admits it. Well, we all do. Because we really came to physical form to have some drama. That's what we're doing here. So, in a high state of ego, I want to be dramatic. Because that's what keeps me in a low energy. See, my ego keeps me, my negative ego, you need an ego to live here. But your negative ego holds you in a state of low energy because I'm very connected and the external world is very important. So if somebody's in a lower vibration, everything outside is very important. Somebody in a higher vibration, they don't really care. You all know the story of the Buddha. The Buddha came from a wealthy family. He was a prince, very wealthy. He was married, he had kids, and decided one day, I have everything, but this is not working. He just left with nothing, a bowl and a robe. And he said, I don't want to have any attachment to the physical world because that's going to stop my spiritual growth. Because what are we thinking about all day? Credit cards, car payments, what I'm doing. So imagine it. So the philosophy of the Buddha was, all I need is what I need today. I need a place to sleep, I need food. I don't need anything else. So I need a place to sleep and food. And he walked around and he did it. And then, of course, he did his meditation, and he did his work, and he enlightened himself. But so we want to live now in the physical world in that mentality, in that energy, that whatever is going to happen in the future, I don't know what that is. Whatever happened before already happened. I need to be present in what I feel. If I'm present in what I feel, then and only then can I understand what is creating the obstacles in my life. But here's what we do. We think. All right? Here's what you got to stop. You're thinking. Here's the other thing. How many of you are always trying to figure it out? Please stop. You got to stop. Nothing to figure out. There's nothing to figure out because you already know everything. See, but your brain is going crazy. Because your brain's like, I got to figure it out. How many of you think you're doing something wrong all the time? Am I the only one? So I grew up in that house. Anybody grew up in that house? So what you did, my mother would say, how come you pushed the chair in that way? I said, you're going to really, that's what you're going to bother me? How come you had the chair? You know the chair's supposed to be like this, and you put it like this? She would actually bring me in the kitchen and say, why'd you put the chair? She would say, did you see what you did? I was like 8 years old. I'm like, what? What did I do? See the way the chair is? You're supposed to put it this way. How do you feel as an 8-year-old? If you can't push the chair in right, how much of a lame-o are you? Now, understand, I know you have kids. All right, you got kids? All right, listen. My son is 20 now, but you got to teach him stuff, right? But if I may say to him, hey, Eric, do me a favor. Next time, would you please put your chair this way? Let me bring you to show you what you did wrong. See the difference? This is different. I have to still create a boundary, but I don't have to shame you. We had a lot of shame growing up. That holds you in a low state of energy as well. So now your brain is over. So you have to understand something. Your brain is, you built all these connections in your brain. So when you go do something, your brain says, you did it wrong. Anybody's brain do that? Did it wrong. Did it wrong. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. So right away, your brain is saying you did it wrong. Now, I love, when I was writing my other book, I was interviewing inventors. If you ever want to have the greatest week of your life, go talk to a bunch of inventors. They are so crazy. They are crazy. Because all they're doing all day, even when they get it right, you know what the next thing they're thinking of? How to make it better. How do I make it better? So in their brain, so we are inventing our life. So all day, even when you do something well, I may write one book and say, wow, my next book, I want to do this. I remember when I was doing my first book, and I'm going through it, and I kept reading through, changing it. And somebody said, listen, put the damn book out. You change it 50 times. I said, I keep finding something. He said, you always can find something else. Just put it out, put that in your next book. So you have to realize you're inventing your life. You're always going to find a better way. So what makes human beings great is what drives us nuts. Because we're malcontent. You know that, right? You're a malcontent. That's good. Because if we weren't malcontents, we'd be living in caves. But we're malcontent. So we say, but here's what we're not doing. You have to absorb the credit, absorb the love for what you have done, and move forward. Don't keep thinking you're falling short. I didn't do well enough. I should do it better. You have to stop that. So every single, you got up and you woke up this morning, give yourself a star. I'm serious. You're breathing, give yourself every single thing. You got here to this class today. That's an accomplishment. You should honor yourself for that. You're here to change your life. There's a million other people that could be here. Are they here? Think about it. This program is available to how many people? Give me an approximate number. How many people?
Well, actually, if you want to say anybody, 14 million people.
Okay. But the people in this category, how many people would you say? Just a few we're going to get. So 280,000 people could be here today. You got about 15. Think about it. Do you deserve credit for that? Do you give yourself credit? Yeah. But I mean, you got to feel it. You have to feel it. You have to sit with yourself and love yourself. Because that's where you're going to get your power from. Because you got that. That was the gift that was taken from you. The gift of your life is loving yourself. That is the gift that was taken from you. That is your journey back to yourself. You're also the Wizard of Oz, right? Yeah. That is a metaphor for your life. What happens? She gets there and she goes, I got to get home. How do I get home? And she gets the slippers and she goes through the whole journey and she has all adventures. And at the end, you remember the good witch comes down and what does she say? Does everybody remember what she said at the end? Yeah, but she said you already had the answer. You didn't need the wizard. See, we're looking for the wizard. You're the wizard. Right? I'm writing a book. Actually, that's one of my books. It's about 4 books out. But I bought that URL, You Are the Wizard. Because you are the wizard. You don't need the wizard. But you need somebody to help you get to your wizard. The same way I did. I had teachers that helped me get and find my own wizard. But you already are the wizard. You have to believe you're the wizard. You don't believe you're the wizard until you get there. And at the end, who is the wizard? Go behind nobody. It's a guy. Right? It's a little guy. But see, we think somebody else is this is the guy. You're the guy. You're the girl. There's no wizard. The wizard's going to be the same. So the answers will come from you, but you have to pull them up. It's hard. You got to pull those answers up from yourself. And here's the hard part. You got to deal with your own stuff on an emotional level. You've got to deal with your stuff and face yourself on all levels. It is not easy. You got to face your worst feelings. You got to face the worst things you think about yourself. You got to face the feelings you're holding on your parents, which are very powerful. A lot of energy toward them. What they did to you growing up, how they listen. And again, I am not here to judge your parents right or wrong, good or bad. I'm a parent myself. But you do have to deal with the emotional issues from your childhood. Because those issues are holding you hostage. So those issues are holding you where you are. And that's the stuff you have to let go of. Because if you don't do that, you're going to keep cycling around. You get stuck in the pattern. And that's where you get caught. So a couple of things. First, your energy, just be aware all day. Here's what I want you to do. Be aware of how you feel. And be aware of how other people are reacting to you. Because what's happening is the way that people are reacting to you is reflecting how you feel. So if somebody opens a door for you, that's good. Wow, I must be feeling good. Somebody opened the door. You know, growing up in New York, if all of a sudden I drove down the block and somebody pulled out and I got a parking spot, that was a big deal in New York. Yeah. I was like, wow, my energy must be good. I got that spot.
That's right.
So all of a sudden I'm saying, wow, when I'm in a good energy, things are happening. Good things are happening. See, but we're not paying attention because, see, the universe is saying, I'm going to give you messages all day long, but you have to be tuned in. It's kind of like saying, is my radio, am I tuned in? Do I get it? Do I see what's going on? Wow, look what's happening. All good stuff. Wow, this happened, that happened, this happened. Now, when I'm not in good energy, the opposite has happened. Someone slammed the door in my face. Someone took my parking spot. Now I'm in a different vibration. Now I'm in a different feeling. So you have to do is be aware. So here's the key. When you're aware, the difference is when I'm aware, I can adjust on the fly. You got it?
Yes.
I can adjust right then. So if I say, wow, I got a couple of things happen this morning. What's up? I better realign myself here. Instead of saying, wow, the whole day sucked. What a horrible day I just had. Why? Because I kept going. Then my brain got in. Oh, look what happened. Oh, look what happened. Oh, look what. They just start getting angry. And you get trapped. And you start cycling. So here's what happens. You've got 3 basic positions. I'm going to show you how to clear your karma shit today. We'll do as much as we can do. So when you think of your life, you have 3 spots, okay? So your energy is vibrating. Now understand something. Your energy is never still. So here's what happens in this work, which is really annoying, just so you know. You could be doing a lot of good work and feeling better, but you're not seeing any outside work. It's kind of irritating. You could be doing this work and you're feeling better, but you're not seeing it. But you're feeling it. So what that's telling you is it's coming, but you have to be patient, which we're not good at. Right? So a lot of times you're doing the work and you say, wow, I'm really feeling better. I'm doing the work, but I'm not seeing any action. What's up? So you have to understand that that's okay. So the way your energy field is working is this. I'm either trying to stay the same, meaning I'm trying to hold myself in where I am because I'm afraid to leave. Now understand something. When I'm in this space, even if I may be in a bad space or not a great situation, but I know how to manage that. I know how to manage poverty. I know how to manage illness. I know how to manage, bad relationships. I'm really good at that. I'm really good at being the guy with no money. So I want to stay there because I'm good. I know how to do it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm a pro. I'm professional. I'm professional at being sick. I work with people that are sick all the time. Why are you sick all the time? Oh, you don't understand. Oh, you don't understand. My mother was sick. I don't care about that. Why are you sick? Why are you broke all the time? Why all your relationships go up in smoke? Why is that happening? Oh, you don't understand. So here's what you have to stop doing. Don't tell your story. How many of you like to do that? Right? You love, because that holds you in that space. Because you want to be in that. Let me tell you what happened. You get on the phone and you know exactly who to call up. Don't you know? You have like your go-to story people that you want to talk to. Right, let me tell you what happened. This is what, and then they say, "Oh, you're right." See, ooh, I'm. That's what I want, and now my ego got a gold star, and I'm stuck. So, if you want to stay stuck, that's what you do. But you like that position because you know it very well. It's like anything in life that we're very comfortable with. Now, even though your brain says, well, this is not a great spot, but your energy is saying, well, I'm good at this. I'm good at having no money. I'm good at being broke. I'm good at struggling. I'm good at being overweight. I'm good at being lonely. I'm really good at it. So I'm going to stay in that spot because that allows me to stay here. Now, in some cases, you're actually trying to make your life worse. Okay? And you're trying to make your life worse because you're not in enough pain yet. I need more pain because I can't seem to get out of this spot and I certainly can't go up. So I need to go down. That's what I used to do. So I used to suffer from very serious depression. And my wife always laughs because she said, if you ever went to a doctor, they would have had you on Prozac in 10 seconds. I said, that's why I never went. But I like to be depressed because I was good at that. So things would, I would go out, do all this work, then lose the money. The guy wouldn't pay me. Something would screw me over. And then I'd get all upset. And then I'd get all depressed. And then I'd drive myself down here. Then I'd stay there for a while, finally get my act together, get myself back here. And I kept going back and forth, right? Now, what we want to do is we want to say, I want to make my life better. But, understand something. To make my life better, I have to leave here, number one. I have to leave the place that I know the best. So I'll tell you a story of a woman I'm working with, overweight. Okay? About 50 pounds overweight. Came to one of my live events in New York. She said, Joe, I want to lose weight. Could you help? I said, well, to me, it doesn't matter what the issue is. It's all energetic. Because it's all energy. It doesn't matter if it's weight, money, relationship. It doesn't matter. So she said, are you going to show me what to eat? Are you going to show me exercises? I said, well, first of all, I'm not a fitness trainer. I said, and I'm not a dietitian. I said, but I will show you how to clear your energy so you will not desire that lifestyle. So she said, well, I never heard that before. She said, I spent all this money on all these weight loss things, and I got machines in my house. You know, the average person buys 3 exercise machines or programs and doesn't use them. You know that? 3. You got it? What do you got, Glenn? No, okay, no, use it?
Well, yeah, I do.
It's a ballet. Right? Average person buys 3. Minimum. 98% of people never use it. So that's what ends up happening. So anyway, the woman comes in, she goes, Joe, I want to lose weight. What do you want to do? So I said, well, okay, we're going to work on your energy. We're going to work on how you feel. So start working on her energy. She has all these insecurity issues. She has all these issues with her mom, all these issues with growing up. We start working through the feelings. All of a sudden, she starts losing weight. She's fine. You know, I lost 5 pounds. I lost another 5 pounds. That's what it is. She's, you know, I'm not desiring those foods anymore. What a miracle. Why? Because your energy is starting to say that's not good. Because your energy, your higher self knows what's bad. Your higher self knows if I eat all bad food, I'm going to be fat. But when you're in this energy, you want to be fat. So now you have to understand your desire is to be in this space, right? So her desire. So now she starts losing weight. She said, "Yo, every night now I'm going out and I'm walking." I said, one of my friends is even doing. We're walking every night. She said, now all of a sudden another little time goes by. She said, now I joined the gym. Now she's going down. She goes down. She's 50. She goes down to 40 to go, to 30 to go, to 20 to go, to 10 to go. She gets down to 6 pounds to go to her goal. Stop. A couple of weeks go by. She goes, I don't know what happened. As a matter of fact, I gained 3 pounds. I'm almost now 10 pounds up instead of down where I want to go. And we reached something that is critical that nobody teaches. And it's what I call getting to the other side of the rainbow. Here's what I mean. I had to find out what was her issue with getting to where she wanted to. Mm-hmm. Why didn't she want to get there? So we start talking. So I said, well, let me ask you a question. What happens when you get to the weight? So first she said, well, that's what I want to do, and that's my goal, and that's what I'm doing, and I was doing it, so finally we get, and I have to chip away to get to the truth, because the truth is hard for us to accept. And she said, well, it took a while, I would say, it didn't happen right away. She said, I'm afraid that when I get there, I won't be able to keep it. She said, because I've done it before, and I could never keep the weight off. So now understand how powerful that is for her, right? Because her fear is, now if I get there, I can't do it. So think of how brilliant you are. In your brain said, I'm going to stop you right before you get there. I'm going to just stop you. I'm going to stop you at 6 pounds. I'm going to just stop you. Now, she didn't know that. Because a normal person just said, I don't understand what happened. I was going. What happened? How come it didn't happen? Why did I stop? So one of the things you have to look at, and you have to say, well, when I change, right, because you're going to change, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's that? You're not going to be comfortable. Very good. Your name? You're not going to be comfortable. But what else happens? What happens when you become successful? Yeah, but what happens? How do other people treat you? Write a book. Watch what happens. People say, wow, you're gonna write it, you're gonna get criticized. I said, I get criticized every day. I said, I might as well get to 100. But what happens is, when you do something, you're gonna get criticized. You gotta be ready for that. I was working with a psychic, one of my friends is a psychic intuitive, and she kept saying, Joe, I want to go bigger. I want to go bigger, and I want to reach more people. And she's a very lovely woman in New York, and she does these small women's groups, and everybody loves her, and they come around, and they think she's great, and she's so fantastic, and whatever. I said, well, let me explain that to you. When you expand, people are going to criticize you. She said, no, I don't see that happening. I have no bad intention. I said, I don't either. I said, people criticize me every day. So finally, we're working together, and again, the universe at work. She gets a call from CNN.com. Well, you know, we're going through this thing with the economy a couple of years ago, so we want to get your opinion of this based on your, from the other side. Just get your opinion of what's going on. She does the article, she does the interview, they post it on CNN.com. She calls me up, hysterical crying. I said, isn't that good? You got on CNN.com, people know who you are, you got out to a lot more people. She said, Joe, they're writing horrible things about me. I said, what did I tell? I said, that's good. She said, what? She was hysterical crying. Because she wanted to go bigger, but part of going bigger is dealing. You got to deal. Now, not only do you have to deal with those people, you don't know those people. Who else do you have to deal with? Yourself, but who else do you have to deal with? Your family and friends. Now, think about this. If all of a sudden your TV show starts next week, all of a sudden, Anthony was on the street. They found him out there. Said, we're going to do a show. Anthony's on TV. Boom, he's a star. All people know Anthony. People are going to call Anthony. He didn't even know from when he was 5 years old. What happened? What is different? His life is different. He's got millions of dollars. Now he's a star. Now he's successful. Now people are going to see him in a different way. Now his friends who we didn't even talk to for 20 years are going to say, I need 10 grand. He's going to say no. But what are they going to say? Oh, you greedy son of a bitch. You changed. You're different. You changed. So here's a little tip. When the people in your circle, okay, start saying stuff to you like, you're different, that's good. Now, understand, they may be saying you're different, but they're not happy about it. Because do your friends and family want to see you succeed? Not all of them.
Which one?
So understand something. This is all the stuff that you're dealing with as you go forward. So you're saying in your brain, yeah, I want to make my life better. I want to be more successful. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to meet somebody. I want to be in a relationship. I want to be healthy, right? But you know on some level that going here is going to create a disturbance. So the thing is this, be prepared for it. It's coming. You make your life better, things are going to get better, but on the other side, you're going to have to deal, see, because in energy, there's no such thing as neutral. When you create energy, you create good and bad. So here's what happens. You ever see those shows that people win the lottery and they're bankrupt? What happened? They won the lottery, that was good. What happened to them? See, in their energy, they could not hold that money. They don't see themselves wealthy. That's why they lose. A lot of people who are very successful win a lot. A lot of people win the lottery lose all the money. Actually, are in worse shape. There was a show on, might have been Oprah a couple of years ago. These two documentary filmmakers took a homeless guy off the street, put him in a hotel, gave him $5,000, whatever, gave him money, moved him, the whole thing. I don't know if everybody saw that.
I saw that.
And where'd the guy end up? What's your name?
Back to where Jim.
Jim. Do you remember where he ended up?
Back to where he started.
And he actually said, now I'm in worse shape because I have a credit card.
Right.
He said before I was just the guy under the bridge, man.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a different guy. But that guy, right? So now he said, I got a credit card, and I bought my friend a car, and I did this and that. Now I'm back under the bridge, and now I have to pay a credit card bill.
Yeah.
So again, it's that ability to receive. right? So it's not as people say, wow, I wish I hit the lottery. Wow, I said, it doesn't matter. If you're not ready to receive it, it doesn't matter. You can't hold it. Even if it comes into your energy, you won't be able to hold it because you won't be able to receive it because you don't love yourself enough. See, so what it comes down to is say, do I love myself enough to receive whatever it is that I want? So that's a question that you have to ask yourself, and you have to really think about yourself on that level and say to yourself, do I love myself enough to receive what I want? Now think about a simple thing. How many of you cannot receive a compliment? Jem, you look great today. What's the matter? You look nervous. What's the matter? When I said that to you, how do you feel?
I'm a little shy.
Why? What's the matter?
I don't know.
So why can't you just receive that comment? If I say, wow, you look great today. Well, I want you to tell me, this is what we want to do, right? What does it feel like? How does that feel for me to say that to you?
I read your book and I don't like that. How you feel?
Oh, you But seriously,
I'm going to meet him. I'm
going to yell at him. So think about it. But if I say that, but what is the feeling that you have?
It just feels a little nervousness. I mean,
what does it feel like? What is it? No. So let's identify what that feeling is.
I'm shy.
Yeah, no. What do you feel? So here's what we want to do. You want me to take a break at some point? Okay, you got it. I'll go. I like to defer to Clyde.
I spent a lot of time talking about that. How does it feel? And I said I came here to strangle you with that question.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna look at your feelings. We're gonna know how you feel. So you look great today. How do you feel? So I want you to tap in. What are you feeling? Try to identify what you feel.
I just felt a little like apprehensive, I guess, like nervous. I don't know.
Nervous. What else?
I don't know.
Do you believe it?
I mean, thank you.
No. I didn't ask you that. That was not the question. I said, do you believe it?
Well, I'm looking like a bum, I think.
No, see, there you go. See, I get it. I will get that. Okay, so the feeling is the feeling. Right? Now, let me ask you a question. If J-Lo walked in there looking like a bum, you think she looks good?
Probably not. I don't know. Yeah, she
what do you
would.
think?
She would.
J-Lo come in with raggedy pants and a ripped shirt and come walking in the store. What would she think? She thinks she's it.
Yeah.
See, so what you did is very important. You created a condition not to receive the compliment. So you did. Created a condition by saying, "Oh, I'm not in good clothes." This is like one of my friends in New York. I would say, "Wow, I like that shirt. It's old." So what we do is, when we don't want to receive, we create a condition not to. Wow, that was a great idea you had. That was a really good idea. Well, I didn't think it was that good. All right, so what did he do? Instead of saying, thank you. See, so here's what happens. The universe responds to you. So when you start receiving, you know what the universe says? Oh, good, Jim's ready. I can start bringing it. See, all this stuff is right here. But you got to open it up. You're going to just say, please bring it. What we're saying is, nah, I'm not going to. Nah, I don't want it. Nah. So now, anytime the smallest positive energy comes toward you, you got to suck it in. But you see, what you did was also very important. That you two are going to be friends. You're going to be friends. Because what you did was, you went your break. Right. So instead of just receiving the compliment, your brain jumped in and said what?
It rejected it?
Yeah, but what did your brain say? You created a story. Oh, I'm sloppy today. So your brain jumped. Your energy, instead of just saying thanks, because your vibration should have just said, ooh, that's nice. But instead, your brain came in and your brain said, no. So you put up all these heels. So what's happening is the universe is trying to give you stuff, and you keep saying no. So this is but you have to understand it's not your fault, and you didn't do anything wrong. It's conditioned behavior. It's conditioned behavior and conditioned emotion. Because we're not comfortable to receive because we didn't grow up doing it. Did you grow up receiving 1 million compliments a day? So there you go. So it's not that, again, nobody's doing anything wrong. It's like saying, it's like, you know how to play the piano?
No.
Okay, so if I brought a piano in here and I said, would you please play the piano, what would you say? Would you feel shame?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I don't know how.
But why would you feel shame? You never learned. Why would you feel shame?
Well, I should.
But why would you?
Because I don't know how.
But why? So why would you? But why should you know how? You didn't learn how to do it.
Right.
So, but what? But think about it. See, condition change. I don't know how to do something. Why would you know how to do that?
Well, I wasn't taught.
I know, but so why would you? But my question is, why would you have shame of that?
I don't know. Like, what you're saying, condition.
Yeah, but why? Don't just go back to what I'm saying. I'm trying to find out what you're saying.
It's just things. It would seem like it's something that I've lacked or something that I.
So what? Did you ever want to play the music?
Well,
did you have a desire to play?
Once before, I thought it was a cool little obstacle, little treat. So,
right, but I'm saying, was it like you were passionate about saying, "Wow, I had a chance to go take piano lessons and I didn't do it"? It was like not. It was not a prevalent thought for you.
It wasn't.
Okay, so what do you care if you don't have it? So why would you have shame of that? So that is again. So now that means you have shame about everything. And you don't know how to do it. So understand, I didn't learn how to receive. Therefore, I don't know how to do it. Why should I have shame about it? I don't know how to do it. I didn't learn it. Nobody taught me. So the key is you have to accept yourself. Accept yourself exactly as you are now. You're perfect. You didn't do anything wrong. See, here's the problem for us. We all think we did something wrong. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I should have done this. How many of you, is anybody doing that all day? Oh, I should have done this. I could have done, I had this opportunity. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I chose to go with this person. I should have gone with this. So we all do this. We have to stop. See, this is all what? See how bad it is? Imagine how the whole day would be if you didn't think. I experience this almost every single day. Because I've learned, and I have learned through my own work and meditation, not to think. I don't want to think. Because it blocks my flow of energy. So I didn't come in here today and say, okay, what am I going to say? How am I going to do it? Blah, 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 blah. What should I talk about? I said, no. And I said to Clyde this week, I said, I'm going to come. I said, I'll come in, I'll feel the energy in the room, and I'll just go. Now, understand something. When I first started speaking, I could never have done that. I had to have notes. I had to have cards. I had to have charts. I had to know exactly what I was going to say. I had to know every story I was going to tell. I had to know every joke I was going to tell. So now, because of my clarity, I trust the universe is going to give me, download what I need to tell you. Because you know what? This dynamic can never be duplicated again. Because if we all come back tomorrow, we're different. Your energy's different. Your energy's different in 10 minutes. We can never replicate this. But if I'm too in my brain, I'm not allowing myself to flow out to you what is going to be most important. See, the right people are here. Some people didn't show up. They're not supposed to be. They're not ready for this. I was doing an event in New York, I'll never forget, years ago. This guy came in very well dressed, like German guy, tall, very skinny, beautiful tie on. He came in, he was very proper. And, Germans are not emotional. Not that we're judging. So we're doing this session, a kind of session like this, and we get to the first break, and he comes up to the front of the room and he said, I have to leave. It was a whole full day thing. So I said, what's the matter? He said, I can't stay. And I knew what it was. I just wanted to say it. But I said, what's wrong? He said, I can't stay in the room. The energy of the room, he couldn't handle it. He left. So that's why. Some people just naturally wouldn't. He even actually showed up, which was a big step for him. But he was not ready to open up to the work we were doing. So he left. And there will be people that will come into your energy that will not be ready for you. That's okay. So you have to be aware of what's going on, like I said, all day long. But you have to also be very open and say, wow, how come when that person was wanted to help me, I could help. I wouldn't let them help. I went to the movies the other day. There was a woman sitting behind me, and she was disabled. She had like a knee brace, and she was, the bitch. And the movie ended, and I get up to leave, and she couldn't stand up. So I said, oh, let me help you to get up. And she put her hand up like this. No. And I said, I was sure. So she just grabbed my arm and I was like, but she just put her hand up again. She said, no. Now I felt her pain. And I said, here's a person who a simple act of kindness that I'm trying to say to her, hey, let me help you stand up. I'm not giving you my lottery ticket. I'm just asking you to stand up. Right? Would not allow herself to receive help. We are doing the same thing. You don't allow yourself to receive small things. So you have to start opening up. It's like a muscle. It's like pumping that receiving gene. You got to pump that muscle. Start receiving. Start looking to receive. See, again, you grow up in adverse emotional conditions, you don't feel that feeling of I deserve to receive. You feel like everything's going to be. How many of you think everything is a struggle? Hard. Life is hard. Always a struggle, man. I was the same way. You got to work hard. How many think you have to work hard? Right? I don't want to work. People will say to you, working hard. I say, I don't want to work at all. This is not work. This is a fun day out for me. So people say, oh, you got to work. I say, I don't want to work. I'm not interested in work. That doesn't mean I don't put a lot of energy and effort into what I do because I want to be really good at it. But I don't want to have that feeling because what is your natural association to work?
Resistance.
Oh. So how many of you want to have a lot of money? What do you have to do to get a lot of money? What do you believe? Work. Oh, there's a real problem. So understand psychologically what your problem is. You have an association to work, right? What does work equal? Struggle, pain, stress. Anybody have a good word to say about it? But your belief system says, for me to have a lot of money, what do I need to do? Work a lot. I got to work a lot.
Thank you.
So what does that do? Right. So what's happening is, right now, I have created a barrier because my belief system is saying this. My belief system, what I'm saying to myself is, I really want to be successful and have a lot of money, but my belief system tells me I have to work a lot, and I really don't want to do that. So I just paralyze myself. So you did. Now the idea is to say, I really don't want to work, but I want to have a lot of money. Then what happened? What happened? Now you opened it up because now you see you have a block here because you've got an association to work that is struggle, right? Instead of saying, well, I just want to create something and be really successful. I want to create. See, you have to stay in the creation mode. I want to create something. So let's say you invent something. I have friends who have licensing deals. They invented something. They get a check. They don't do anything. They sit around all day to get a check. They invented something. They get a royalty check every month. They're not working. They did work. They made the thing, but now they're still getting money. So our belief system is based on, I have to do this to get this. So you can't be in that mindset. Because if you believe I have to do something to get something, you just shut yourself down. Every minute. So understand that, let's say you went out and you created something and you made an invention, and there are millions of people. There's an iPhone, right? They made a phone. This phone, somebody made this phone, right? Is there a guy sitting in the back making each one? Right? Is there a guy sitting? Is Calvin Klein sewing the jeans as he sells them? And says, geez, I got to do it. Right? Right? They created. Right? They created. The universe did all the work. They created, and the universe said, okay, here's all your money, and you just keep creating stuff. So you have to see yourself as you're the inventor, you're the creator. You have to work, you have to create. There's a difference. You don't want to work, you want to create. When you create, you can create wealth. When you work, you can't work yourself to wealth. You work yourself to stress, heart attack, everything else. Misery, struggle. But you can't work yourself to where you want to be. You have to create yourself. Right. I'm creating. I'm creating. See, so here's the thing. Every word that you use carries energy and vibration. Every word. You want to be aware of the words you use. When people say I'm working hard, say, no, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Be aware of what you say. So one of my favorites is, which people say all the time, say, hanging in there. You hear that? How you doing? Hanging in there. Ever hear people say that? Does anybody say that in here?
Yeah, we say
You say that? Hey, how you been today? Hanging in there.
hanging in there, hanging in there.
So I'm in Costco. See, because I'm driving everybody crazy. Okay? I'm in Costco. I'm on the line. Nice looking young guy behind the counter. Taking of my stuff. I said, hey, how you doing today? I had the name. I said, how you doing today? He said, I'm hanging in there. I said, never say that. He looked at me like I was crazy. What are you talking about? I said, it sounds like you're feeling it. And he said that. He said, no, I'm right. I said that. And at the end of the day, I'm a little tired. There's a little awareness. Because hanging in there sounds like what? I'm hanging.
Yeah.
So just say, I'm doing great. See, but that energy is different. Think of the energy of, I'm doing great, to, I'm hanging. The word, so you have to watch the words that you're using all day, because you're using certain words that are lowering your energy. You're doing it all day. It's just repetitive patterns of habit. Guy called me the other day, you know, I talked to friends. I said, how you doing? But he said, I'm in the grind. Grinding it out. How does that sound? I'm grinding it out. I'm grinding it out. How does that? Think about it. You know, you work in New York. It's getting to work in New York is half the day just to get there. You got to get up. You got to get on the train. You got to go. You got to. It's bad weather. It's cold. You know. So by the time you get to work, it's like, geez, now I have to actually work. But the feeling of I'm grinding it out. I'm hanging in. See, these are bad feelings. You're putting out bad energy that you just get through the day. So you have to stay in that mode of creation. And here's what you want to ask the universe: send me the ideas that are going to help. Because the universe is going to send them if you're open to receiving. They're going to send you the ideas. Send me the ideas. Send me the right person. Put the right person in front of me. Send me the right book. You know how many times I've been walking in the bookstore, so a book would fall out? Or someone would call me from somewhere. How'd you get? So I would meet somebody somewhere, or something like just happened here. These things happen all the time, right? So I'm just saying, you know, just put it in front of me. Ask. We don't ask. You ever ask for something? How many of you are better at asking for help? So you got to ask. Why? Do people ask you for help?
Yeah.
Do you help them?
Yeah.
So what can you do? Why is it good that way and not the other way? Why could you help me and I can't help you? Some people just so why are you attracting them? I keep coming back to that. Why am I attracting people who don't want to help me? Get rid of whoever you want. Yes, I will tell you something, and I'll share this with all of you. And I'm Italian, so Italians do a lot of guilt. And I had a lot of we have a lot of guilt. And my what's that?
The Catholic too.
Oh, I'm Catholic. I'm ruined. I'm Italian and Catholic. That's a whole other talk. I always say I'm going to go on a bus tour. Like I'm going to be like the Italian Catholic guilt tour, or the Catholic guilt tour. But anyway, I had my dad. As I said, when I was young, I just had my mother and my sister. We had, Italians are very enmeshed. It's funny because the Italians have a certain way of operating, especially like the New York groups. Like they grew up together. They believe like you're supposed to live in the house with them until you're like 45 years old. That's like you're gonna live in the base and get married, have kids. Like you stay here, you don't leave, you don't go anywhere. So, but I had a lot of conflicts with my mother and my sister as I did the work. Because here's what happens: as you start expanding, that relationship changes. The dynamic of that relationship really changes. And we finally got to a point where really what it came down to, and I'm going to share this with you, and it's something I used to not be able to do, but I will now. I have no more fear of it. But you have to understand that you being powerful scares people. Right? And for them, my whole relationship with them was always, they dumped everything on me and I was always there to help them. But in order for that to happen, they saw me as having to be weak. As I got more powerful, we started to conflict. Long story short, at the end of the day, we ended up not speaking for 2 years. And I was at a point and I said, you know what? Whatever the universe wants, but at this point, we cannot have a relationship. And I have to be okay with that to step into my power. So for you, it's the same thing to say, I have to step into my power. I can't worry about everybody else. And if people don't like it, that's okay. Not good or bad, it's just what it is. Don't judge it, but understand that it's just what it is. That's what you have to understand.
Yeah. I was raised a Jehovah's Witness. I have a brother.
That's a different seminar.
And the thing with him is, I can call him up and talk to him, but he doesn't. It's okay. But I'm okay with that now because the same what you're just saying, I have to be okay with it. I'm fine with that. Another one of my brothers, I can at least call him and he's receptive. Both Jehovah's Witnesses.
Now understand something. In physical form, this is your family only in physical form, not energy. My family is not really those people. Those people were part of my karmic journey. They're not really my family energetic. My family and energy is different. But they're still my family in physical form. But they're not my family in spiritual. They are in a different level, but they're not where I am. They're in a different place. You know what I mean? They're like in a different energy. They're in the drama. They're in the whole, we want to have be upset energy.
Would you call it conscious awareness?
Yeah, it's conscious, it's basically being aware. You have to accept it. You have to just accept what it is. Like, okay, this is the situation. Yeah, this is where we're at. And this is the circumstance we're at. So, does anybody want to take a quick break? Let's take a quick 5. If this stuff can get a little intense, let's go back in 5 and then we'll finish up. So I'm going to go through theories of karma before we end.